Tonight's Viking captains, number 33, Sam Hendon. Number 56, Ryan Brooks. Number 22, Nate Jormo. Number 19, Zach Clark. For Olympic, number 78, Gabe Fuyaba. Number 70, Tommy Fernandez. Number 26, Jaden Fernandez. And number 5, Evan Guterres. Olympic has won the toss and has elected to defer. North Kitsap will receive to begin the game.
Welcome to Friday Night Lights at North Kitsap High School Stadium as North Kitsap Vikings host the Olympic High Trojans. We're West Sound TV, happy to be working with the KitsapSun.com, streaming it live around the world. We got Spencer Anderson on the camera and running that computer for you folks. Kitty Campagna on the other microphone. And I'm the doctor, Doc Parr. And Kitty, who wants to start with all the storylines here? You can go for the first one.
I get it first, huh? Well, is it the middle of October? Because this is when these two teams usually meet, and almost the last 2 years when they've met, it was for the Olympic League title. And this might be happening that early this year. Of course, there's a lot of football to be played, but they're both 1-0 coming in and looking like they are going to be two tough teams.
Last weekend, the last Friday night of the regular season for the last 2 years, has been the matchup between these two teams to determine the Olympic League champion. 2 years ago, North won it on a last-minute three-point field goal to get that league championship. Last year, Olympic returned the favor and won it on a three-point field goal in the last minute of the game.
Each of them at home. And so they've been doing that win it at home. If that's the case, we expect North Kitsap, but not for sure.
Yeah, the Trojans deferred. They won the toss, booted away to North Kitsap, who go on offense first. North Kitsap, ranked number 10 in state in the 2A schools, comes in at 3-0, 1-0 in the league, and Olympic 1-0 in the league, 2-1 overall.
The only loss that Olympic has this year is that Battle of Buckland Hill that started out the season against 3A Central Kitsap. They were in the game the first half, definitely, and then one of those things that got away from them.
And here we go. First offensive set for the Vikings. And let's start out with a pretty nice run that time by Zach Clark.
Zach Clark, who has been in the weight room all summer from the sounds of it. You could see some strength as he carried a couple Trojans with him.
Oh, they got the first down on that first play, and the ball is at about the 48-yard line of the Vikings. First down again.
Last year, North Kitsap averaged about 26 points a game, and so far putting up bigger numbers this year.
And a completed pass at the Trojan 45-yard line. And quarterback Tristan Newman, number 13 out there for the Vikings, completes that one to Keenan Warren.
Keenan, well known for his foot, one of those people who can kick, but obviously can catch as well.
Well, you did not see, at least live, the North Kitsap, Central Kitsap matchup that Dave and I did a couple weeks ago, and that was a tale of two halves. First half, it looked like CK was dominating the game, and it was a close, tight score, and it comes up fourth quarter, and North Kitsap decides we'll show people why they were ranked
Why they're
number
ranked,
8 in
actually.
the state.
Nice move by Newman on that. Felt the pressure and tucked in the ball and ran for the first down.
And Olympic, they lost a fair amount of seniors from last year's team, and North Kitsap moved a lot of juniors to the senior role this year. They've got a pretty experienced, solid group out there.
And a sophomore or two who've turned junior and looking good out there.
And again, yeah, we've got our first penalty of the game here, and we'll see which side gets called.
Believe that's going to be a false start on, or a legal procedure on North Kitsap.
Yep, that's the direction they're pointing, and that'll move North back 5.
Our officiating crew from the Peninsula football officials tonight, our gentleman in the white hat, John Lambert. Our umpire Mike Henson, head linesman Michael Williams, line judge Clint Hoffman, the back judge Art Claflin, and an alternate Jason Mickelson, just in case one of those guys goes down, which we never want to see.
Okay, it's going to be first down, but now 1st and 15 for the Vikings. And back there in the shotgun position, nice shot, nice pass by Newman, and completed about the 38-yard line.
He's brought down by Lorenzo Carbone Garcia, one of the junior for Olympic.
I believe it was Neil on that one. Well, the PA guy might have a different sheet than we do, Kitty.
I don't. I think he figured out you were right, Doc.
Danny Whedon doing the PA up here for many years at North. They certainly appreciate his volunteer services.
Great voice for it and keeps the crowd in the game. That was a 5-yard penalty for illegal procedure again.
Yeah, 6-year head coach Jeff Weibel's not going to like that. 2 illegal procedures in 3 plays.
Not what you expect out of a veteran squad.
Double shift over to the other side. Oh, showing a blitz. And right up through the middle for a couple of hard-fought yards on that one is Nate Yormo.
Tommy Fernandez with the tackle.
Fernandez is part of that front line for Olympic that is pretty valuable and pretty big.
Well, he is nicknamed Stumpy. I don't think I'd call anybody who's 240 pounds Stumpy, but he at 5'9", 240, a little shorter, but certainly gets his
Pitch out coming around to
tackles.
this near end, and some good running room there for the Vikings, and that
was Sam Hendon with the run.
Yeah, it didn't quite make it to the first down mark. It's 4th and about maybe 3.5, 4 yards to go for that first. And you're kind of at a strange point as far as it really wouldn't probably help you to, it would be a tough punt, let's say, to put it on the goal line. So
You'd have to know your angles, and you might as well go for it.
Yep, and that's what Coach Weibel's going to do here on 4th down. Newman puts man in motion. Yormo,
look
nice
at the
pitch
opening on the
out,
outside.
and there's plenty of room to run over on that left side for Sam Hendon. Wow, that was a nice pitch and a nice run. And so far, except for those 2 penalties, the North Kitsap offenses look pretty crisp.
Exactly why they needed the 4 downs was because of the 2 penalties, but well-designed play. Everybody, it looked like it's going to go to the right and suddenly pitch to the left. Perfect pitch. And I think that's when you sing too, right? Okay. And just a nice run as well.
So the ball is down in the Olympic red zone at the 15-yard line for the Vikings. Newman behind center, rolling out to the right, and he gets the ball away to a wide open receiver, and that would be Bryce Woolerjohn in the end zone for the Vikings.
That looked way too easy, Doc.
It sure did. Bryce, I don't know how he got so wide open. The Olympic defender was trying to chase Tristan Newman in the backfield, but that was the direction Tristan was going anyway.
It did work out well for him that he
did.
was rolling out that way.
So that North Kitsap Vikings put the first 6 on the board and will attempt the PAT here at the 8:37 mark in the first quarter. Ooh, that one looks good. And, of course, that's Kanan Warren, the senior out there. And he looks like he could be a potential field goal kicker.
Well, Doc, it's really interesting. I was looking at stats for Olympic, and they've actually only made 2 PATs this year, so that's not a strong point for them right now. I watched practice, and they were looking a little bit better. I'm sure that's something that they're emphasizing right now. So if it comes down to an extra point, you really like having senior Kanan Warren on your side.
Man, he has a leg.
Yeah.
That ball almost went out the fence at the end of the stadium
They
there.
say he has gotten his timing down and expect a lot of touchbacks on kickoffs.
And, yeah, he's doing it all. He's doing the field goal and the kickoff kicking and the PATs. And I don't know if he's punting. We'll see. They haven't had to punt, of course, yet. And North Kitsap did their job. They put the points on the board first here and lead 7-0 over the Trojans.
Well, for Warren, they have him listed as wide receiver, kicker, punter, defensive back. So
Yeah.
I think we got an answer.
And about on the 7-8 yard line, the Olympic deep people pick it up about the 4 yard line, out to the 10, the 15, the 20. Look out! Look out!
Oh, but a flag.
Oh my goodness, but what a lovely run by number 1, Malcolm DeWalt.
Oh, yep, that's
What a shame, and it's on the 25 yard line. And from the reaction of the Olympic coaches,
thinking
sounds
that
to
may
me
not
like
go
it's
the way
gonna-
they want
It's
it.
going to go against. We'll see. Oh, block in the back against the Trojans. Oh, that's a shame for Coach Quatavis and the Olympic High Trojans. That was a lovely run back from about the 4 yard line. We'd call that a 96 yarder.
I would
if
have
was
called
good.
it that. Great run by DeWalt, and certainly that may have been what opened it up, that block in the back. I saw a block out here at the 30 that he had I think it was a tackle more than a block, so nice job.
And you know, DeWalt is only a freshman.
Ooh.
So he had some speed out there. He saw what was going on in front of him. And like you said, that opening may have been because of the block in the back. But that will put the Trojans back in their own territory to start out their first offensive set here on the 15 yard line.
And I think this is a change having DeWalt back there, because typically it had been Darrell White on the stats I was looking at.
And punching it up through the middle at time. It'll be a pickup of about 4 yards on that.
In honor of the Olympics and rugby being there this year, I believe they were recreating a scrum for us, so we couldn't even guess who had the ball.
I think it was Enriquez. Raleigh Enriquez, but he'll pick up. Oh, that's actually, they're going to give him about 5.5 on that one. Bring up a second down now, and 5, let's see.
Olympic had won the toss and they deferred to kick. So they wanted to give their defense a chance, and North Kitsap went straight down the field. So now Olympics is going to have to answer that.
And of course, that will give them the put them on the receiving end at the beginning of the second half. And there again, they're trying to use those big guys up front in that offensive line to open up some holes. But so far, the Viking defense has done a pretty good job.
Chase Bakar at 255, one of those big guys trying to get a block on North Kitsap.
That's third down, and well, we'll say 2 yards to go to keep her going here. But again, it's a handoff up through the middle. And Enriquez carrying it once again, and he got the yardage to move the flags. First down for the Trojans, but that was a hard fought.
Now, the name we
10
haven't
yards.
called yet is Logan Madison, and he is the heart and soul of this running game. He has 49 rushes for 287 yards and a couple of TDs this year.
Our QB is Evan Quatavas. He's rolling out to this near side. He's got an open receiver in the middle of the field. No catch, say our referees. But he was wide open, and that was Colby Johnson.
Plus, the receiver downfield was even wider open, but that would have been a heck of a throw. I thought he made a good choice on where he went and could have gotten quite a few yards out of that.
No, I think so, too. And Quatavas was on the move, too.
Yes.
He was not set.
You do have to realize,
throw that 40 or 50 yards.
unless you have a cannon attached to your right arm.
We saw a little bit of that possibility last week with John Jones from Kingston.
Ah, okay.
And, quarterback.
Almost intercepted.
Oh, man. And that time Quatavas did a nice fake, but kept it and got back towards the line of scrimmage, tried to pass it off, and incomplete.
I thought for a minute he might have passed the line of scrimmage, but that was not called.
Well, I thought he was close enough that he wasn't going to be able to pass.
Me too. I was believing that.
Well, it's going to bring up third down now and 10 for the Trojans. The ball is...
Uh-oh.
Oh, we've got a yellow flag in the backfield.
I think an illegal substitution. They made that substitution too late.
It's against the Trojans, and that's going to move them back. That's a tough one in this position. Now it's going to be still third down and 15 to go.
North Kitsap players on the sideline trying to get the fans in on this. What a day this turned out, considering this morning it was ugly and raining.
For our second day of fall. First day of fall was lovely.
It was beautiful.
Okay, third down for the Trojans, deep in their own territory. Tavis goes to the air over to that far side. The ball is caught, but barely back to the original line of scrimmage. And it'll be placed at the 27-yard line of the of the Trojans. So time for a punt from Olympic.
Great idea on the quick release, but you got to hit him in motion, otherwise he wasn't far enough for a first down, and that wasn't the route he was supposed to run.
And the punter, Kyle Farrell for Olympic.
Kyle averages about 25 yards a punt so far.
That's a good one. Down into Viking territory, picked up at the 36. Oh, some running room. Look out. And let's see. There is a penalty marker. Who was that running it? Did you catch the number?
I missed that.
There they are. They're congratulating number 21, who would be Joel Ingram. But the yellow flag flies again.
And we're going to get that same block in the back. It was tough I couldn't tell from my angle whether that he'd gotten him in the back, but obviously the side judge decided that.
The flag was thrown at the 40-yard line of the Vikings, and John conferring with the Trojans to see what they want to do, and it looks like they'll move them back 10 yards from the point of the foul.
But they do at least start 1st and 10 on that.
1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 30-yard line. Tristan Newman in there.
Newman worked hard to get the job as quarterback over the
Whoa,
summer.
coming around to this near side. And good running that time. Dax Solis, I believe.
Christopher Baker makes the tackle for Olympic. 2nd down and 8.
I think that was, might have been. Couldn't tell if it was 32 or 22. Either Nate Jormo or Solis.
2nd down and 7.
And bringing the play in is Woolerchuk. Second down now, and about 7 for the Vikings to get a first. Oh, man, look at this, showing that blitz. Oh, coming around the end. And, yeah, the Viking D did a good job. Nice run around to this near side. And that is Kai Warren.
No, that was Zach Clark.
Oh,
was 19.
okay. Oh, okay. We've got 2 Warrens out there. Okay, Zach Clark picking up the first down for the Vikings, moving it out to the 41-yard line.
That's the second first down he's picked up. He's at several yards in this game already.
Back in the gun. Oh, no, under center. And a quick pitch out, going around to that far side, and that's going to pick up some good yardage, about 4 or 5.
Tripped up by Malcolm DeWalt originally.
Ball is down at the 45, gain of 4, 2nd down 6.
I'm going to give him 4 on that, which will bring up a 2nd down and 6.
Coach Weibel using his wide receivers to send in plays. Number 5, Woolerchuk in there with the information to his quarterback.
And Newman under center once again. Fakes a handoff. I think he wanted to pass, but no deal there as the Olympic Trojans bring him down, and the first guy in on there was Gabe Fuyava.
Tommy Fernandez as well. It just some huge bodies coming at him. Tried to get something out of that, but not a whole lot.
Fernandez, you mentioned 240. Fuyava, my goodness, 280. 6'3", 280.
And these guys, you know, they're big, but they're so fast to go with it. That's what's fun about these teams.
And in the preseason write-up that the Sun does every year, Coach Quatevas talked about those big guys up front on both offensive, defensive, mostly the same guys.
Exactly. Ooh.
Oh, ball is blocked and
Intercepted.
it's picked up, and boy, was it the hook and ladder out there.
Yeah, I'm kind of think he was down on the original one, but we're going to find out where they placed the ball. It was Bakar with the interception.
That looks to me like they're going to give it to him.
I think they are.
That would be a fun one to see in slow-mo replay. Looked to me like the ball had actually been knocked out of the hands of the receiver right to the Olympic Trojan player.
Well, that's an excellent break. Not a break. It was great work by Olympic to make that happen.
Well, the result is a first down, and we got a little discussion over on that far sideline with the flag people.
Moving the chains.
So Olympic first down into Viking territory at the 19-yard line.
trying the pitch on that particular one. And that's 48 with the run. Raleigh Enriquez.
He's already handled the ball a few times, and you are absolutely right. Where is Logan Madison?
We need to look on the sidelines, I think, Doc. I'm not
sure. He made
sure.
191 rushing yards last week
Exactly.
against Bremerton. And I don't think we've seen him yet. Now, I know there was some sickness going through that.
It has been through every school district out there. I've been noticing that on volleyball.
Oh,
scores.
nice run there. Right up the middle by Enriquez. And eventually pulled down there by, that was Dex, or Zach Clark. It was Zach that pulled him down, but that's going to be a first down, goal to go. The ball just about the 9-yard line for the Trojans. Quatavas under center.
And that's number 40, Jace Holcomb with it.
They've had a number of different runners so far. One of the guys from North getting up out of there is Carson Bauer. Yeah, I'm going to give him maybe 2 on that one. Down to the 7-yard line for second down for the Trojans.
Goal to go at this point as we only have one stick up and the other chain's down.
Tavis with a pitch back to Enriquez. Oh, put his head down. And
touchdown.
Let's see, he's in. The men in stripes put their hands up. And number 48, Raleigh Enriquez, puts points on the board for the Trojans. 121 mark here in quarter number 1.
So now we will see number 17, I believe, is the kicker. It should be Kyle Farrell.
Yep.
He's 1 of 3 on point after attempts.
Oh, it's going to be a fake. Quatavas has it. Quarterback holder, and he gets to the end zone. Put 2 on the board and give Olympic the lead 8-7 here at the 121 mark in the first quarter.
Now, I don't know if that was entirely a design play, but the hike was a little low, and that's why you have your quarterback as your holder quite often, because he's a decision maker, goes out there and decides he's going to go for 2.
Well, and you mentioned earlier that Olympic has not been particularly successful this year in kicking point afters. So, you know, you see it in the pro game now that they've moved
a whole
the
lot
PAT
more, don't you?
back,
Yeah.
that a lot more of the teams are trying for that 2-pointer.
Well, and like I say, just a great decision by Quatavas to take that and run it in. And really close there at the end, whether he's going to get in there, but better than a missed kick entirely.
Okay, 121 left to go here in the first quarter, and on a quarterback keeper by Quatavas, the Olympic High Trojans take the lead 8-7.
So, Doc, one of our viewers has texted me and let me know that Logan Madison is injured.
Oh,
so
no.
Thank you to Stephanie Elevato for letting me know that that was happening. She gave us a big compliment about our awesome broadcast.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. Oh, still on his feet. I don't know how, but Joel Ingram, man, talk about picking up your tough yards.
Well, how many spins did he do during that? He should go out Dancing with the Stars coming up next, I think.
So, no Logan Madison.
That is correct.
After 191 yards last week, and that's why Coach Quatavas is going around with a bunch of different runners now. Enriquez, so far, has seemed to have been the main man.
Enriquez, Holcomb out there, and he still has the exact same line, so you have a good thing going with that.
Newman under center. Hand off. And some running room around that left side. Look out. And it looks like it's a 20-10. And into the end zone, Zach Clark
Wow. The crowd goes wild. What an answer to that last touchdown.
I guess so. And you know, it was that one block over on that far side that sprung him. And after that, the young man took off with nothing but green in front of him.
And that weight room stuff working pretty nicely, helping him make it through that hole. But that also has increased. Look at the speed that he had. Nobody was catching him.
Well, that took 21 seconds.
Exactly. Maybe 22.
So, North Kitsap putting 6 on the board, and they will attempt the single PAT. Down, and it looks good. It is good. And again, it's Mr. Warren.
Two teams that pride themselves on their defenses, and already it's 14-8. Pretty surprising.
It's still a minute to go here in quarter number 1. North Kitsap answering big time on that one.
You expect there's so many different things that North can do. They can pass, and when you can get Clark open like that, great running. We haven't even seen Solis much out there, the junior running back who was so successful at the end of the year last year. But that's because he has 3 really good seniors as well.
And a very strong, consistent runner, Sam Hendon.
Yes.
He's had it a couple of times tonight.
Exactly. They've also used Nate Jormo. They just have so many weapons, it's hard to get a hat on them all.
Coach Weibel for the Vikings in his 6th year as a head coach.
And number 1, Malcolm DeWalt.
With a ton of experience helping him. He's got Dave Snyder, Peter Blue, Scott Crowell, Jared Prince, Chris Richardson, and Kyle Pentham.
Oh, that's a nice kick. Picked up at about the 1-yard line. Out to the 20, a little bit beyond the 20. And a gang of purple tacklers will take the Olympic runner down. And I believe that was Jaden Fernandez. So Olympic will start out on in their own territory, about the 23-yard line.
Well, what I thought was impressive, after Olympic ran back the kick and had to go all the way back due to the penalty, you know, that did not depress them. Even though they didn't score that time, they came back out and after the interception, ran it directly into the end zone.
Quitavis back in the shotgun. Quick handoff to the running back, Rolly Enriquez. He's going to pick up some yardage tonight, the way he's going.
Read his stats, 5'11", 200. He is one big running back. Coming in, he only had 12 runs for 43 yards and a touchdown. 11 tackles. I'm trying to read my things with my long distance.
Okay, 2nd down for Olympic, and they picked up about 8 on that first one. 2nd down and 2 to go for a 1st down. Quitavis again back in the gun, and again, Mr. Enriquez looks like he's going to pick up that first.
And you are correct, as the chains are moving. And with 11.5 seconds left here in the first quarter.
And the clock's running, so it looks like they will just let it run out here at North Kitsap Stadium. And at the end of number 1, the Vikings up 14-8 over the Olympic High Trojans. Welcome back to Friday night game of the week. High school football brought to you live by the KitsapSun.com, and thanks to Peninsula Subaru for helping out. Over West Sound TV, Spencer Anderson is on the camera and running the computer. Kitty Campagna on the other microphone, and I'm the doctor, Doc Parr. And as we get ready to begin this second quarter up here in Paulsbo, the Vikings on top of the Olympic Trojans, 14-8, and the Trojans with the ball.
So far, this game as competitive as we expected. And I am so excited to be back, Doc. I missed the last couple of weeks doing some things like weddings and family get-togethers, but it's great fun to be up in the booth tonight.
Well, Hunter Smith with that carry, and it was I think Enriquez.
It was Enriquez
Yeah,
again.
and it was the other number.
Oh, that was you. Who took him down?
Yeah.
Hunter Schaap, 43. I didn't see, Doc.
Yeah. Anyway, second down, 1 yard on that one. Oh, boy, what a hit there. Wow. And that looks like that's Zach Clark getting out of that one. Nice hit on
Zach is having a game. First, I'll score a touchdown, and then I'll let him know that I can play defense, too.
So it's about another yard on that one. Third down now, and 8 for the Trojans. Quatavis back in again. Short drop back. He passes over to the far side there. Intended receiver would be Christopher Baker. And incomplete pass. So the Vikings defense has held.
Well, what they did when you stop them on those first couple of downs like that, then you force them to throw. Olympic isn't used to doing too much throwing. Evan Quatavis with 12 of 27 on his passes for 102 yards on the year. So not their biggest weapon.
And there's the boot. Ball is high. Nice high kick. It takes a great Trojan bounce and will be down at the 32-yard line. That was a good punt.
That was a great kick, good
Yes,
height,
indeed.
and he got a great bounce out of that. I was going to point out number 10, Cameron Hacker. He was out there blocking, saw it bounce, and did the thing that you're taught when you're the team that's receiving. Get the heck away from the ball so it doesn't touch you.
Back off.
Yes.
Well, the Vikings will take over here on their own 32-yard line, first down, as we have begun the second quarter here in Paulsbo. And Newman under center. He's got it. Oh, look out. Newman goes down big time thanks to number 40, J.C. Holcomb. Or Jace.
Oh, if we say it both ways, one of the times we're going to be right.
What a drop. Look at that. A loss of close to 10 yards on that.
Great anticipation, just blasting through the center there.
And, you know, we have seen a few times here Olympic showing a blitz. That time they went right through with it. Quick pass out to this near side. It's complete to number 5 out there would be Woolerchuk. Fernandez with the drop, and it looks like they're going to even lose about a half a yard on that one to bring up third down, and they got 24 on or 18 on the board.
It will. Yeah, there it
19
is.
on the board.
Mason Quatavis also in on that tackle. You pretty much can say Quatavis either for coach or players, and you're going to have some chances tonight.
Coaches,
Yes.
players.
Yep.
Oh, nice handoff by Newman, and nice running there by Zach.
Clark, surrounded by Trojans, tries to bring it back in from the sideline. and actually got a couple more yards out of it.
Enriquez, one of the guys in there, as well as Christopher Baker for the Trojans. It's going to bring up 4th down, but 4th down and a good long 9 to go deep in your own territory. And the Vikings will have to punt. So we're starting to see the second quarter battle of the defenses here.
And our question answered, Keenan Warren with the punt. I don't think he's had to punt a whole lot this year. They've been pretty successful on offense. Last week beating Port Angeles 55-0. Oh, look at this punt.
What a great roll for the Vikings. It will be down at the Trojan 5-yard line.
And there was really nothing Malcolm DeWalt could do to change what was. If he tried to catch that, it had spin an end over end.
That's quite the leg out there. We've said that more than once for Mr. Warren.
The leg and the bounce, you'll take them both.
Wow. 8 minutes to go here in the first half. And the Vikings have put the Trojans deep in their own territory to begin. Ball on the Trojan 5-yard line.
Just a great night for high school football. North Kitsap band performing at the start of this and keeping us enthused in the crowd.
Quatavis with the handoff to Enriquez. And, he breaks a tackle. Finally
Ball came out at the end, but I think they're going to say he was down. Oh, they'll just say fumbled and recovered.
And a nice pickup there. And Enriquez moves the Trojans out to the, looks like it'll be the 23-yard line. So they've got a first down and some breathing room now.
Exactly. We talked about his size at 200 pounds and 5'11", and obviously a little bit of speed once he gets going.
First down now for the Trojans. Evan Quatavis. Yeah. And I believe that's going to be a procedure call. Trojans are moving back. Yep, false start. 5 yards, so that'll move the Trojans to a 1st and 15. Still, it's better than being back on that 5-yard line. Out on a
awfully happy to have that breathing room right now, aren't they, Doc?
Looks like about the 17 is where they'll start out now. 1st and 15 for Olympic. Quatavis under center. Hand up. And, a nice job by the Viking D on that one. The first guy to get up off that pile, number 79 for the Vikings, Dominic Perez.
One of those returnees from last year that they are thrilled to have the senior playing again. He had some injury problems.
So nothing on that one for the Trojans. 2nd down and 15.
That time first man through met first man in. It was right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and I don't know. Somebody saw something they didn't like. So, time out. Olympic at the 6:51 mark here in the second quarter. The Vikings up 14-8. Well, we want to thank the Kitsap Sun for making it possible to stream this contest live on the Friday night game of the week. And it's on the website at kitsapsun.com/GOTW.
Gotwa.
Yeah.
And it's not got milk or got water. It's game of the week.
Yeah, GOTW. It sounds like one of those prehistoric animals. Then
it might be. The famed Gotwa.
Yeah.
From
Anyway,
the Puget Sound.
we want to thank them a lot for doing this. It's great fun, and what a great opportunity for the families especially. Fans, of course, but the families especially, some of them out at sea or in foreign countries in service duty.
Or like in Nebraska,
Yeah.
which is pretty foreign to some people, but
Grandma
you got
and Grandpa.
Grandma and Grandpa there It's a great service, and we are happy to be part of that.
It really is. Okay, second down and 15. Quatavas fakes a handoff. He's going to the air. He's got the open receiver, and he's out to the 30. A nice pickup of about 12 yards on that one.
That's Enriquez again.
So not only is he running the ball, he's catching it and running the ball.
A good call because it looked like he got it originally and there was somebody there. Then he went out and found the opening and a nice little pass on the screen.
Ball on the Trojan 27-yard line. Third down and about 6. And Quatavas handing off. Look at that. It's not going to be enough, though, for that first down. And again, it's Enriquez carrying it.
Suddenly the workhorse of this Olympic team.
Sure is. Fourth down, and look at that. It's a yard or less to go for that first down. And a big decision here for Coach Sal Quatavas. It looks like he's going to go up behind those big guys up front and try to pick up this short yard.
He's got 280, 240.
Oh,
I think he did it.
He did it, and I think a part of it was actually a second movement, second jump there. And that is a first down by about a yard, maybe half a yard on that one.
Number 50, Oliver Chapman, got up a little bit slow. I think he was the recipient of a couple of those big pushing guards.
First down for the Trojans, ball on the 34-yard line. Quatavas with the pitch back. Oh, good open field tackle. And Zach Clark, he's playing the game so far of his life, I think.
Most definitely, just playing so well on both offense and defense, and you had to have some speed to bring that gentleman down.
Second down now for the Trojans. They move the ball out to about the 37. Two men behind the quarterback and a fake. Quatavas has got it. He wants to go to the air and can't find anybody. He breaks out of a tackle and will make it back to about we'll give him a yard or two on that one. It looked like he really wanted to pass a couple of pumps there.
Well, Quatavas listed 5'8", 155 pounds. I've not seen any long passes yet. It looks as if he's had some receivers open, but they would be like 40-yard passes. They might want to cut their routes off a little bit shorter and give him that opportunity to complete it.
Third down now for the Trojans. And it looks like about 6 yards to go for that first. And the Viking defense has been holding them on those first couple of downs to those 1 or 2 yard pickups.
Again, yep.
And we have
I think a North Kitsap
timeout on the Vikings, for the Vikings at the 4-minute, 54-second mark in the second quarter. And Coach Weibel and the guys, Dave Snyder, the defensive coordinator, will get together and talk with his guys.
Not a bad idea. You don't need to have those in your pocket. You want to make sure you have the right defense called right here. They don't pass a lot, but they had the success with the screen earlier. See if they might want to try something like that again.
Well, it's certainly been a exciting game so far tonight. We've had some pretty good games so far this season. I believe this is number 4, the 4th one of the season here.
Well, when we sit down with I sat down with Annette Griffiths and Jeff Graham, and it is sometimes you don't know who's going to do what, and we do have the ability to change the games if something a whole lot better comes up, but we tried to preset the schedule this year, and so far we've kind of hit the jackpot, doing pretty well on our choices.
We had some good ones. Quatavas with the handoff to you know who. And
wait a minute.
Wait, how did that happen?
Still moving. I didn't hear a whistle, but that wouldn't be a
That,
surprise.
of course, is Enriquez Raleigh. And I thought he was down short of that first down, and instead he takes it into Viking territory down to the 36-yard line.
Pretty sure the guys in the purple shirts thought the same thing, Doc, because they kind of stopped, and I thought I was right with you.
Man, there is the only reason he doesn't have the yardage is because Logan was in front of him. Now that he's got his chance, Raleigh's making up for it there.
He is. He's taking advantage of this. Oh, flag flown.
Yeah, and the run over to that far side there.
That time it's Fernandez carrying it.
We'll have to see what the penalty flag is. Oh, it's a warning against the Vikings. Sideline warning. So I don't know if somebody said something or if there was an unfortunate Pete Carroll incident with one of the players.
Maybe they were practicing without their helmets on. You just never know what this is going to be.
Another timeout here for the Vikings. I want to settle things down a little bit. Trojans got a little bit of momentum going, thanks a lot to Raleigh Enriquez.
We always say not to speculate, but to speculate, they might have said something about whether or not Enriquez was down earlier on that previous play, but you got to get past that. You got to continue playing as a player and as a coach. I don't have a clue who said it on the sideline.
So here's another one for you folks with the DVRs out there to look at in slow motion replay.
Yeah. Well, you can actually do that on some of the live stream section well that you can go back. So, and it is then afterwards either you can find it on YouTube or on the Kitsap Sun site. So you can go look at it several times.
And after Enriquez met at the line of scrimmage that time by a group of guys in purple and gold.
79, one of those, Dominic Perez getting up from the pile.
And number 50 also there, Chapman is in on that one. Third down now, and it looks like it's a 6 to keep the drive alive. Ball is at the 32-yard line, 33.
Did they not start at like about the 5? This is
That's correct.
Quite the drive right now.
Man, it's taken up a fair amount of time. Quatevas keeping it, and this time he's going to just put it.
A ball down.
Oh, he's going to, let's see here. Now, it looked to me like he was down.
Olympic did land on it, and they are actually going to give them.
It's worth a first down.
Wow. There is a point where you can no longer fumble forward and get the distance, and I think that's like on a 4th and something.
But 3:42 left to go here in the first half, and I don't remember the clock. You're right, they started this drive at their own 5-yard line, and they've had the ball for a while now.
No scores here in the second quarter yet.
Yeah, Quatevas handoff going up through the middle again over that left side this time.
Colby Johnson trying to get some room for his running back.
Those are some tough yards there in the middle, Kitty.
We've found that to be true several of the Olympic League teams.
Chapman was one of the guys in on that for the Vikings. Second down, and they'll give him a yard and a half on the pickup. Second down and 8.
Pretty vocal fans underneath us like that.
Handoff coming around to this near side with some room to run. Some good blocking out there. And a good run that time for Jaden Fernandez. And it's going to be another first down.
Zach Clark, one of the first ones to kind of slow him down, but he got past him, and a few more Vikings brought him out of bounds.
The ball's going to be placed just outside the 10, so Olympic could get another first down.
2.5 minutes left here in the first half. First man.
Kutavis, quick handoff.
That was Holcomb through on that one.
Chase Holcomb, the ball carrier.
They are doing those quick handoffs. They look pretty good.
Pretty
North Kid-
solid.
They are.
They've had a couple fumbles, but not on handoffs.
The only thing is that the Viking defense has once again held Olympic to a couple of yards on the first couple downs. Second down now. And about 9. The ball just inside the 10 now.
Clock is running.
Oh, look out! Nice little handoff and pickup that time by Jaden Fernandez. He did just a little momentary pause, a little juke, and got himself an extra few yards on it.
Brought down by Zach Clark on what looked like was going to go a little bit farther than that.
Third down now. And the ball at about the 6-yard line. 1 minute and 7 seconds left to go in this half. This could be a big momentum thing for either team. Pitch out to Enriquez, puts his head down. 1-2 people. Man, he is not only fast, he is strong.
Very strong. There were 2
Wow.
at his ankles that I thought had him in the backfield. And obviously he does not get in for the touchdown, so it's going to be 4th and not quite goal.
48 seconds left to go in this half. 4th down, they can still get a first down. They've got about, looks like 3 yards to go. They've got to get, I think, inside the 1-yard line to get that first down. And that means with 4 yards, they could get a touchdown.
Exactly. I think that they've called their second time out to discuss it. We know that they are not overly confident in their kicking, so I don't see them going for a field goal. But one of these where you, at the end of a half like this, you want to get points as much as possible, because it's not like you're going to turn it over with a lot of time to the other team and hold them down and change your field position.
Yeah, and like we said, this drive started out at least 6-7 minutes ago on the 5-yard line.
Yes.
Olympic has just been pushing the ball forward. Here's a huge play for both Olympic and North Kitsap. 4th down for the Trojans. Oh, everything stops with a yellow hanky. And it's going to be false start against the Trojans.
Oh, that's painful if you
Oh,
are a
it sure
Trojan
is.
fan, definitely.
5-yard penalty takes him back to, it'll be at about the 9-yard line. 4th down and about 8 for a first down, 9 for a touchdown. And didn't take any time off the clock
No,
because it was a dead ball foul.
You would assume this is going to change that play call, but you never know, as much as they've liked the run.
Kutavis fakes a handoff. He's got it. He turns right into the Viking defense. Wow, Chapman was one of the guys in there. Number 55 is Connor Westby. Wow, they were on him. And a huge, huge play for the North Kitsap Vikings, stopping what looked like a 95-yard drive for a touchdown by the Trojans. And they will take over here as we get ready to wrap it up with 40 seconds left in the first half.
Like you said, Doc, this can be such a momentum changer. They looked so good coming down the field, and now we had some movement again.
Yep, victory formation for the Vikings. They just want to let the time run out. They're on top of the scoreboard.
Olympic with, I believe, one timeout left, and I think North has used all theirs.
It's going to be a false start against the Vikings this time. That'll move them back 5. And again, no time off the clock.
First down and 15.
Yeah, now all I got to do is get a knee down, and they get to go to the locker room. There it is, the end.
I don't know.
Well.
On your 25-second clock, we'll see. They might have to do 2. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the...
Looks, well,
Yeah, that'll do it.
North Kitsap thinks so. as the team starts to walk on the field towards the locker rooms.
The man with the white hat out there, John Lambert, holding the football.
And that, you're right.
That's it. And so at the end of the first half up here in Paulsville at North Kitsap Stadium, the Vikings over the Olympic High Trojans, 14-8, Kitty. Quite the first half.
It's exactly the type of competition that we expected. A little early in the year for this particular matchup to happen, but it's good for both of them. Even it might determine who's going to win the Olympic League, but if nothing else, it will definitely get them both enthused for a lot of football that's left in the season.
All right, well, West Sound TV. Spencer Anderson's on the camera and running the computer for you. Kitty Campagna on the other microphone. Thanks to the KitsapSun.com/GOTW Game of the Week. Made partially possible by Peninsula Subaru down there in Gorst. And it's been a good first half. It's going to be, I think, even a better second half coming up. So we will see you for that second half shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, now presenting the Viking Marching Band. Under the direction of Bryce Adams and Assistant Director, Kiara O'Reilly. We are proud to present our show, Levittown. Join us on a voyage across the seas. The crew of the Pequot embarks on a journey from the Nantucket to the South Pacific. Ahab and his crew must soon test their strength against the great whale and the forces of nature. They wage a fierce battle, but only one can survive. Halfway around the world, a whaling ship finds itself as the hunted. The Viking Marching Band performs at field show, competitions, parades, numerous community events. Marching Band is a part of a comprehensive music program including concert bands, jazz bands, and percussion ensemble. We'd like to thank the MK staff, administration, and our amazing parent volunteers for their support of the music program. Leading the band are drum majors Max Damerel and Colin Lehman. and gentlemen, your award-winning North Kitsap Marching Band and Color Guard.
Some high school football scores. Huron 34, South Kitsap 25 in the second. Bahia 21, Vashon nothing in the second. Again in the first, it's Scrim 7, Bremerton nothing. Viking fans on your feet. Here come the Vikings! And one baseball score at the end of the seventh. The Mariners 8, the Twins nothing.
Welcome back to Friday Night High School Football. Game of the week on the kitsapsun.com/GOTW. And we are up at North Kitsap Stadium in Paulsbo as the Vikings host the Olympic High Trojans in one of the major matches up this season. I'm the doctor, Doc Parr from West Sound TV. Spencer Anderson is on the camera and streaming it live. Kitty Campagna, your producer for high school sports, and on the other mic, it looks like the score, the Vikings 14, the Trojans 8, and that was quite the first half, Kitty.
Trojans come in here as the defending Olympic League champ, and they would really love to repeat this year, certainly within striking distance. In fact, they were within about a yard there for a while at the end zone.
Well, I do not know why.
We can have that discussion, can't we, Doc? It went all the way to 0.
3 minutes. The crew up here in North always doing a good job on the scoreboard, and the clock got it down to where it should be, 0-0-0, so we could begin that third quarter, but the man in the white hat said add 3.
I thought he'd do it coming out of the locker room. I was watching him pretty closely.
I did too. I was waiting to see that.
I think we had to know it was going to happen because they were strolling is all they were doing. But now they're moving the guys off the field and probably going to get ready for the second half.
Well, and if you remember right, the Trojans won the toss at the beginning of the game. They deferred, which means they'll start out this third quarter getting the ball.
They will. And tonight there is not, from what I'm looking at the two flags, very little wind. So that hasn't been a big factor in what they chose on which end of the field or anything like that. But instead, after that really long drive at the end of the first half, they will start out again and see if they can continue to move through that North Kitsap defense.
Well, we want to thank Peninsula Subaru down in Gorst for helping out to make it possible for the Kitsap Sun to stream this game live, and of course our programs, West Sound Community Television programming on BKAT on Saturdays at noon, and then replayed on Monday night at 9:30. And if you have cable, Comcast, BKAT is channel 12, and it's channel 3 on Wave Broadband. And if you don't have cable, as the games are running, BCAT also streams what's up there, and I believe you go to bcat.org to
that is correct.
Find that stream.
Yeah, so you can see it on the computer. If you have relatives who still haven't seen some of our stuff, tell them about that time frame. And every single Saturday at noon is our time frame, moved from Sundays. So now you got to look for us on Saturday. I'm going to give a shout out now to one of our biggest fans, Paul Peterson, who I believe he used to own the Cloverleaf. He has been really huge in local sports, especially softball, supporting teams and as a coach for his son's teams. Just a guy who really knows his sports and has been around. I'm trying to talk him into joining us in the booth one of these nights, but he is every single Saturday. I think he plans it around what are Doc and Kitty going to put on tonight. So I really appreciate that.
Well, we've got to thank Stephanie
Elevato,
young lady that called in to let us know that Logan Madison, the original major runner for Olympic High, out with an injury after rushing 191 yards last week against Bremerton. But I'll tell you, his replacement tonight, Raleigh Enriquez, has been putting some yards in the stat book.
He has taken advantage of an opportunity and certainly proven to his coaches that he deserved that chance.
Well, North Kitsap will kick off, and Mr. Kanan Warren doing the kicking duties all around. Good boot. Picked up at about the 11-yard line by the Trojans, going around that outside there. Bringing it out to close to the 30-yard line is Malcolm DeWalt.
Freshman showing he has some ability on that run back, getting quite a few yards.
So 14-8 score, 6-point lead. The Trojans got a 2-point PAT to make it 8.
Yeah.
So a touchdown without a PAT of any sort ties the game.
It would. Our recap of the score at 8:37 in the first quarter, a 15-yard pass to Wolarchuk gave North Kitsap the lead, and then Warren made the PAT, so it was 7-0. With 3:02, Ole intercepted it, and then 1:22 in the first quarter, a 7-yard run by Enriquez and a 2-point conversion by Evan Quitaves, and it was 8-7 Ole. And just 21 seconds later, a 65-yard run by Zach Clark made it 14-8 for North Kitsap.
And we're starting out here in the third quarter. The Trojans have the ball in their own territory and to pick up about a 1.5 foot on that one.
That much, huh?
Second down for Olympic. Head coach Sal Quitaves for the Olympic High Trojans. 4th year, and boy, they have done some playing these last few years since Coach Quitaves came on.
They are trying to build a tradition, and that's one of winning.
Oh, man. The Vikings in on that one.
Looked like he was trying to pass, and I got tripped up pretty quickly.
Yep, it was Evan Quitaves who got taken down for a loss of about 3 or 4 yards on that. Moves it back to the 26-yard line. Third down now and about 14 to go.
Sal Quitaves is assisted by James Manguid, Mike Eddy, Kevin Smith, Erwin Quitaves, Perry Huff, Dave Turnquist, Mike Turso, Julius Eifering, J.R. Fernandez, and Ralph Goldlazen.
Quitaves back in the gun. Roll it out to this near side. He's looking for somebody to pass, and he finally gets it off. It's incomplete. That was intended for Devin Burley.
Great protection by his line as he rolled out. He certainly had the time to throw it, but just a little bit underthrown, and even if he had caught it, because it was underthrown, it wasn't going to be a first down.
And, you know, there again, it looked like he was pretty close to that line of scrimmage when he tossed it.
He's kind of mastered that.
Okay, Olympic will have to punt, and Ingram for the Vikings back at the 50-yard line. That's another good punt. Oh, ball is dropped. Ingram quickly falls on it at the 42, 43-yard line.
Taj Davey right on top of him as he picks it up.
And those punts have been really nice. They've been high and up in the air long enough to give the defense a chance to get down on the receiver.
It looks like they're working on that end over end as well, getting a little bit of that spin, because those are so tough to catch when they're doing that.
North Kitsap takes over at their own 42-yard line.
Quick
Pitch to this near side, and not much running room. Things stop DeWalt, and we've got a hanky coming in after the action. DeWalt and Fernandez on the tackle for Olympic, but we'll have to see what this flag is.
It was a pretty tough takedown, and I don't know if the North Kitsap player didn't like it.
Personal foul against North. John Lambert, the man in the white hat out there, the head of the refereeing staff.
Believe there was a little bit of retaliation. Always the second one getting caught, but that's keeping your composure.
Yeah, you can't afford that.
In high school, they do not tell us the number of the person committing that particular foul.
Now, both of these teams made it to postseason last year, and as we have told you, Olympic was the Olympic League champion. But as it turned out, the North Kitsap Vikings went the deepest in postseason to the quarterfinal round.
They say their plan is to do just a little bit better each year, and to make it past the quarterfinals would be quite an accomplishment.
Second down and a whole lot of yardage to go. Ball back on about the 30-yard line. Oh, dropped in the backfield. Yeah.
That is the term dropped. Holcomb with the tackle.
Looks like Holcomb moving a little slow out there and actually being helped off the field by a couple of the other players. The training staff, coaches come out and assist him.
That kind of collision can cause problems on both ends.
Well, it did the job as far as stopping North Kitsap. 3rd down and a whole bunch.
Also known as 26 on the line.
Tristan Newman out there as QB. Handoff, bouncing out to the outside. Got a little bit of running room. Nice job there.
Oh, here.
And I don't know.
Oh, I thought there would be a flag. That was quite the takedown out of bounds.
It was close. It was very close. And again, you know, one of those things that you just, you know, do not want to waste your time on it.
You love the enthusiasm and they're playing hard, but you have to have the discipline as well.
Well, no penalty, and brings up 4th down. North Kitsap will kick it away, and we've got one Olympic receiver down at about his own 30-yard line. And
this went straight up.
Holcomb. Oh, man. I think that went up above the lights.
It went above the stadium, I'll tell you that. I watched it, and poor Warren, he just turned around going, oh. But there were a couple Trojans in on him, and so he got off what he could.
And that's going to be a big play for the Olympic High Trojans because they're already in Viking territory. They're going to start out at the North Kitsap 35-yard line.
So that's a punt of about 5-6 yards. Not typical Warren at all. North Kitsap defense now going to have to just get set and make sure that they make their teammate feel better about that.
Evan Quitavis under center. He'll hand off to Enriquez, and Enriquez will pick up a couple of yards. Again, getting off the bottom of that pile for the Vikings, Oliver Chapman. We've called his name a few times tonight.
Senior Corey Jackson also on top of that pile.
Chapman, a senior, 6 foot, 235. Second down now and about 9.
That's having the back of your teammate right there.
Oh, hand up. There's some running room. Woo. Met there, but enough for a 1st down.
That was Mason Quitavis, the junior, 5'10", 170.
And that'll give the Trojans a 1st down at the 23-yard line.
Olympic mainly running, but certainly running some different sets out there.
And Enriquez will pick up maybe a yard on that one. North Kitsap defense doing a pretty good job.
Well, you consider that they were out there so long at the end of the first half. Got a little break, obviously, during halftime, but back out on the field.
You know, it looks like they might have actually lost a half yard on that. 2nd and 10. Straight drop back. Quitavis going to the air. He's got an open receiver, but ball passed.
Touchdown. Touchdown.
Oh, you are kidding me. I thought it was out of bounds, Kitty.
I don't think so. I watched it too, and he must have caught that inbounds. The official right on it.
Wow, there's number 3 for your slow-mo replay. Man, I thought that was out of bounds.
Well, it went past one receiver, and then the second one that was
Wow.
in the end zone comes down with it.
Be an extra point.
So the Trojans put that 6 on the board to tie it up and could take the lead here. Now remember, we saw him fake this kick and run it for 2, and that's what Quatavis is doing. This time he gets the ball off, but it's tipped and no deal. So we are tied up here at the 7:14 mark, and number 3, 14-14. Well, does that surprise you, Kitty, that we have a tied game?
No, actually, it doesn't.
These are 2 pretty good high school football teams. Wow.
Well, and they both played Central Kitsap, so that is the one-like opponent. Central Kitsap coming away with the win against Olympic. North Kitsap beating Central Kitsap, but that was early on in the season, and it is pre-league, so it's a time to learn, a time to figure out, what's going to work for you. I am impressed by Olympic, where your big running back goes down. He's not here. He is injured, and they have just picked up the pieces with what they have there and are playing extremely well.
And again, I really wish we had replay. I'd like to see that one again myself. I'll have to look at it on tape.
I know, you have that, Doc.
Wow.
You can do that several times.
Because I thought for sure he was out of bounds. The pass actually out of bounds.
It's where his feet were.
That's
so
it.
that's
It's a long ways away from us.
it is.
On the other side of the field. And so the Trojans kick off, ball at about the 25-yard line, picked up on the run.
Flag.
Oh, no. We all have already seen a flag. And that one against Olympic earlier, nullifying a great run back. And this one will probably also nullify at least a portion of that run back.
That was Cameron Hacker, the senior, with a really good job of getting up and catching that, because that is a live ball and that it's gone 10 yards past the line of scrimmage.
Chop block, it looked like, against the Vikings. So that's going to move them back. The flag is on the 40-yard line. That'll move them back, should be 15, I think. And it will. It'll move them back to the 25-yard line.
Quite a change in your starting position. 40 looked pretty nice, but these Vikings have been able to move the ball pretty well.
It's a first down, but they're going to be at the 25 instead of the 40. Newman looks over the lineup. He'll hand off to the running back coming around this side. He cuts back inside. And Hendon picks up a little bit, I think.
Looked like about 4 yards on that.
Yeah. He was coming around the end and then saw a little bit on the inside, cut back, and picked up a couple more. Second down and 6.
Big Tommy Fernandez, one of the Trojans bringing him down. I really like some of those early season articles about the linemen and how they consider it such a team game and don't care whether their name's getting called all the time or getting what a quarterback or a running back gets.
Oh, pitch. And a little bit of running room. I think that's going to be enough for a first down for the Vikings. Sam Hendon again carrying it.
Sam, the 5'8", 155-pound senior, got a lot of carry time towards the end of last year and is bringing it right back down the field.
So the ball is out at the 37-yard line now for the Vikings with a first down. Newman with a long count. Oh, up through the middle. Whoa! That was some nice running that time. And I believe that was Dax Solis.
It was Dax Solis, brought down by the neck, basically.
We have not called his name much so far tonight.
seen him on the sideline for, as I said, they have so many good running backs. You have to figure out how to share that time.
That was a pickup of a good 8 yards, 2nd down and 2 now.
North Kitsap has been a tough second half team, and they scored 52 against Bainbridge, 34 against Central, and 55 against Port Angeles. So you expect a little bit more out of them.
And Solis carrying it again. Another first down into first down territory and into Olympic Trojan territory. Ball at the 49-yard line of the Trojans.
Exactly the type of response Coach Weibel's going to want to have happen after that score.
And again, pushing those big guys. I mean, if you get a good close-up view, those front line guys for Olympic are huge.
They are. They have a little bit of size out there. 200 would be tiny on that particular, in that group.
Yeah. You think about the poor center for North Kitsap. He's getting it all right up front.
Starting center tonight, number 58, Nate Griswold, the senior. He's listed at 280, so he's got a pretty good number.
Man, that was a nice run that time by Sam. Picked up a good amount on that one to bring up a 3rd down and about 2 for the first. Ball at the 41-yard line of the Trojans.
Numbers 32 and 33, the main carriers carrying the mail on this particular drive. Movement.
Yeah. And I think that one's going to move the Vikings back.
From 3rd and short to about 3rd and 6 now.
Yep. Yeah, we've seen a few of those false starts tonight on both sides, but I think so far the Vikings are leading that contest.
And that's one column you really don't want to have the most of.
So 3rd down, and now about 7 yards to go for that first. Ball gets moved back to the 46.
Carson Bauer, number 30, tight end into the game, bringing in the play.
And fake handoff to the first, back through, handoff to number 22, Yormo, and actually lost a couple on that one. That was a nice effort on the defense there to string that play out and force the North Kitsap runner out.
You're so correct. It was an overall pursuit, but Christopher Baker, actually, the Trojan knocking him out of bounds at the end there.
So 4th down, the Vikings have to kick it.
Now there's a Warren kick.
Yeah, I was going to say, that looks quite a bit better than the previous one that Kanan Warren kicked. And it did go out of bounds, but we'll have to see where they're going to actually end up placing it. And it looks like it'll be just right about at the 20-yard line for the Trojans, who last time they had it took it into the end zone to tie it up. 14-14 with 3:19 left to go here in quarter number 3.
Last time with that short field starting at the other team's 35, they were able to take it in. And we've seen them with the long drive before, but North Kitsap going to have to see what their defense can do and if they can get the ball back and some better field position for their offense.
Quitavis under center. And a handoff. That's going to be
and the
fumble. Ball is loose. Let's see who's got it. Yeah, the Vikings look like they're going to take it away. Man.
John Setti with picking up that fumble.
And that's going to put the Vikings knocking on the door as they take over on Olympic's 5-yard line.
There have been 2 fumbles given up. One where actually was Ole intercepted. That was the first turnover in the first quarter, and then this is only the second turnover between the two teams.
Hand off over that left side and
Touchdown.
into the end zone for the North Kitsap Vikings. And Dak Solis gets to put some points on the board for North Kitsap. They're doing a good job working it around to a bunch of those guys.
Kind of what Olympic was doing as well, trying to give a couple different people some runs.
So Warren back there to attempt a PAT.
Solid.
It looked pretty good, and it is good for another point on the board for the North Kitsap Vikings. Now in the lead, 21-14 over the Trojans. 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
That took them 4 seconds to score. So that went pretty fast once they had that better field position I talked about. So obviously the defense heard me and did exactly as instructed.
We've got plenty of time.
We have
to
a lot of
score
time
a whole
left.
bunch more points on both sides.
3 more minutes here in the third and a full fourth quarter. We'll see what Olympic can do as far as how they're going to respond to this. They've handled adversity pretty well tonight.
And we know both teams can score. There's no doubt about that.
Well, Olympic has averaged a little bit less because they only had 7 against CK, 19 against Bainbridge, and 18 against Bremerton, because they really depend upon their defense to make these games work in their favor. And with their long drives, they don't have as much time to score.
Oh, that's a
Wow,
kick.
that's putting your foot
And
into it.
there's that touchback that Coach Weibel talked about. Yeah, what a leg there on Kanan Warren. So the Trojans will start out at their own 20-yard line here.
And if people don't understand what a weapon that is, you got to watch the crowd even. That, I mean, people are on their feet and fist pumping just because that just excites you when he takes that out of the end zone like that.
Not only did he have the distance, it was pretty straight and true.
Well, had we set that up for the field goal.
Okay, the Trojans now down. Take over here on their own 20-yard line.
See if again it is home cooking where the home team wins.
And the handoff up through the middle. There's some running room. Look out. Number 14 almost up to midfield. In fact, he is at midfield. That is Mason Cuatevas.
Bringing them right back in, and that just silences the crowd here in purple, and the sideline on the other side in blue pretty darn happy.
Wow. First down run for Mason Cuatevas moves the Trojans out to the midfield, the 50-yard line.
Kanan Warren first to actually slow him down, and then he had some help from teammates.
Yeah, that handoff got no yardage on that one.
Jaden Fernandez not finding any running room on that one.
And a bunch of people, including Quentin Nota, getting up off the bottom of that pile for the Vikings, stopping the Trojans at the 50.
Quentin, another one of those big seniors that Coach Weibel is counting on this year.
Second down and 10.
DeWalt in motion. Ball on ground.
It's loose. And the Vikings come away with another recovery. And that one is number 30, Carson Bauer.
It had been so clean up until now with the few fumbles that had happened. Olympic was getting them back, but right now, North Kitsap in the backfield at the same time as that handoff is happening, and they can't come away with the ball.
2 minutes and 1 second to go here in the third, and the Vikings take over Ball in Trojan territory at the 46-yard line.
People in purple happy once again.
Yeah, and there we go.
North trying to just get that.
Yeah, they now
something's
have-
wrong.
Yeah, we got the second time a whistle has.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's a timeout. Timeout called by the North Kitsap Vikings.
Interesting because it looked like North was trying to get that snap off quickly and see how quickly they could run a play. And with the Olympic team a little bit disappointed right now.
Well, the mighty Mo has shown itself, and it's now on the North Kitsap side.
I believe it has shifted. That really long run by Katavis definitely had brought it back to Olympic there for a second, and it is right back to the purple.
Man.
But we have watched a very strong defense from Olympic. These guys have a lot of seniors on this side as well who are out there ready to trying to repeat as Olympic League champions, and they know they need this game to make that happen.
First down for the Vikings. Newman fakes a handoff, rolling out to this near side. He's got a receiver at the 45. Down to the 40, the 35. And that's Jormo.
Excellent moves by Jormo out in the open field, trying to get some extra yardage out of that. Good fake on the handoff and keeping it to his side so no one could even tell by Newman.
First down for the Vikings. The ball is at the Trojan 35-yard line. And like I said, momentum on the side of the purple. Purple people eaters out there.
Vikings trying to take advantage of this opportunity.
Handoff to Hendon. And,
Oh, flags from everywhere.
yeah,
The front, the back, the side.
Hendon picked up a yard or so on that, but we'll have to see what the penalty flags are all about.
Looked like a possible face mask. Oh.
Personal foul, face mask, you are correct. And all of a sudden, the Trojans shooting themselves in the foot once or twice or three times now.
Several feet at this point, yes.
Losing those toes. 1:24 left to go here in the third quarter, and it's going to be a 15-yarder on the personal foul.
No doubt about it. As I said, you saw flags flying from several different directions, so it was seen.
And you know, the Olympic defense might be starting to get a little tired out there. They're getting beat on now by the Vikings. First down at the 20-yard line.
We talk about the fact that they play both ways, but defense is really exhausting.
Newman looking things over. Long count.
Taking his full clock, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got 5 seconds left.
And they just barely get it off. Long pass to the end zone, and that
Newman
went
is
way over the head.
Talk about shooting yourself in the foot. Not that he shot himself in the foot, but he was kicking himself. I'll tell you that after that. He knew he had the opening that he wanted.
Yep, just overthrew the receiver by 10 or 15 yards.
Yeah, just a little. That was number 11 out there, John Setti, trying to follow up getting the fumble with a touchdown.
Under a minute to go here in the third, and it's second down and 10 for the Vikings. Pitch back to Solis, and nice job on the defense that time. Number 21, Tahi Davey, pulling him down for no gain.
There were too many guys in white and blue to make that thing happen on the end. Excellent pursuit by the defense once again.
Third down now for the Vikings. Ball is just inside the red zone of the Trojans.
About 30 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Rolling out to the far side. Newman turns around to this direction. He's got the receiver down at about the 11-yard line.
Oh, Newman took a hit as he let go of that too. Totally legal.
And it's going to be short of the first down, Kitty. Fourth down, about 2 yards to go. Are we going to see the attempt at the field goal? Well,
It'll be at the other end.
I was going to say you'll have to wait until the final quarter as we end number 3 here in Paulsbo with the Vikings up 21-14 over the Trojans. Welcome back to the final quarter in regulation.
Don't scare me.
North Kitsap Stadium here up in Paulsbo as the North Kitsap Vikings host the Olympic High Trojans in what is turning in to be quite the high school football game.
Well, Doc, I thought we had finally been able to project that yellow line on the field, but it turns out it's markings for the soccer field. So I thought they had their first down.
Here it is. Kanan Warren's going to try that field goal. Let's see if he can get that FG on the books and whistle.
I think we had motion. Oh, timeout
by Olympic.
They have that fear of the fake, and I'm not sure about that because North Kitsap is very competent as far as their kicking game.
I was going to say, I don't think you need to.
No, not really.
Fake the field goal. It would be, let's see, where's the ball at? About the 10-yard line, so it's about a 30-yarder for Kanan. And after that last kickoff that went into the end zone, we know he's got the leg for it.
It's that accuracy that you got to have. I did watch on the sideline, they were practicing that hike to the holder number 2. That's Alex Sanchez.
Alex is a 200-pounder.
He's who you expect as your holder, right?
Okay, North back in that setup for an attempted field goal. Of course, that would make it a 2-possession game. And the ball is up and through. It wasn't quite as high as we expect, but it did its job.
So that's with 5 seconds gone in the fourth quarter, 3 more points for North Kitsap.
Kanan Warren, another field goal. And the history of these two teams, Kitty, last 2 years, it's been field goals that have decided it in both directions.
Last year, Olympic getting that field goal at the end to win it, and the prior year, the exact opposite. And I think both cases, the score is 17-14.
So up by 10, 24-14 as we begin the fourth quarter here in Paulsbo. And the Olympic High Trojans have got some work to do that has to include hanging on to the ball.
That would be step number 1 because they have proven that they can get yardage on this North Kitsap defense, come up with a couple of big plays and some good runs. Now, we do not have DeWalt back there because that's probably a waste of time the way Warren kicks it out of an end zone.
Andrews Fernandez back at about the 3-yard line. And that's a boot. Picked up at about the 5. Brought out to the 20. Coming around this side. 25, 30. Nice run back. And I hope there's no flags.
That's Jaden Fernandez with that really pretty run. Followed his wedge pretty nicely and no blocks in the back. That's always positive.
He picked it up at just about the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
So bringing it out to the 33, 30-yard return on that for Jaden. Well, Olympics got some work to do. They are down by 10. There's plenty of time left, though. We've got only 11:48.
12-minute quarters here in high school football.
All right, Evan Quatavis. Pitch back. Run around the right side and some room out there. Pretty good stop, but not until after Mason Quatavis picks up about 7 yards on that one.
That was Kanan Warren with the stop, the decisive stop.
Second down now, and you are right. The Trojans have shown the ability to run against this team, Viking team.
Well, it's their bread and butter. It is what they do with that big line. And right now they are going to continue with the run because they do have enough time to go down and score and have another opportunity.
That one picked up maybe a yard by Fernandez, so that'll bring up third down and let's say 2. And looks like a
injury
timeout. And yeah, you're right, Kitty. We got a Olympic Trojan being helped off to the off the sideline there.
Might be Enriquez.
Third down now, about 2 yards for the Trojans to get a first. And another whistle. Timeout, Olympic. Yeah, coach is not afraid to use the timeouts.
At something like 3rd and 2, you certainly don't want to get a procedure penalty and make that a 3rd and 7 like we've seen happen a couple times today. And you just need your team to be on the same page right now, especially if you're going to depend upon the run as much as they are.
Well, thanks to the kitsapsut.com/GOTW, which is Game of the Week, for streaming it live every Friday night. Friday Night Football live on the stream for you, and made possible in part by the help and sponsorship of Peninsula Subaru down there in Gorse. Good folks down there, and, we urge you to, if you're, down that way or whatnot, go in, say hi. Thank John DeMonis for helping out to make this possible. And, of course, the folks at the Sun, give them a call and thank them for it is really it's a great service and a whole lot of fun for us.
Well, we've enjoyed this partnership because
yes, we have.
When they first started doing their live streaming, we noticed that a lot of times we were at the same place. So back when Chuck Stark was the head of the sports department, he and I finally discussed things and said, hey, why don't we do this together? And what a great plan.
Yep. Handoff. Going up through the middle is Mason Quatavis. It will be a first down unless it's brought back by the yellow hanky.
Do see the flag. I don't know if that meant they lined up.
False start against the Trojans.
Yep.
Move it back 5. So that should bring up about third down and 7. So, unfortunately, the Trojans making a few mistakes here in the second half, Kitty.
4th game in, you would hope you'd have a lot of this cleaned up, but you also, they are trying to get a little bit of a jump start on this North Kitsap defense. They know how tough they are.
And again, we mentioned that Olympic lost some of their key components from last year's Olympic League
Things
championship
like quarterback
game.
and receiver and Keith Moore and nothing too big, but they do have, the one thing that they have is they've developed a tradition of winning and a good culture, and all these kids are really excited about playing football for Olympic.
Third down and 7 now for the Trojans. Davis rolling out, going to the air. Oh, that one was almost picked off by Sam Hinden. Wow.
Went through his fingertips, and it was meant for number 26, Jaden Fernandez. Needed a little bit more on that particular ball to get it to him.
So 4th down now, and the Trojans will have to punt. The ball is on their own 36-yard line. And we have 10 minutes, 16 seconds left to go in this game. A 10-point lead for the Vikings.
Into kick, I'm assuming that is Kyle Farrell.
Oh, man, that was a quick run in. Fair catch signaled. And
Almost forgot that he had signaled that. That was Joel Ingram.
or maybe he was hoping no one had noticed.
Yeah, no one
'cause
noticed.
He
That
could
was
get a few yards.
Right.
Well, the Olympic had to kick it away. North Kitsap defense doing its job, and Olympic helping them out with that 5-yard penalty.
That did hurt because they would have had a very manageable third down with the way they've been running. Passing game just hasn't gotten a lot going tonight. And it's not as if that's something they actually emphasize much. You have a shorter quarterback, not quite a Russell Wilson. Instead, they want to use him to be the hander-offer.
Yeah, that one didn't even get handed off the ground by the center before the flags were out.
I think we're trying to see on a couple of these which particular play can get the most flags thrown on it. That one had 3.
Or which team will have the most false starts.
It has been a night of that. Yeah, not really caused by the immense noise, although there's a good crowd on both sides.
I was looking at some of the stats for Olympic Trojans from past seasons. Of course, the leading all-time rusher, Larry Dixon, who played for Army for 4 good years.
He did very well at Army.
And off over this right side and breaking some tackles and with some open green space. Dak Solis is going into the end zone, and I'm looking all over the field and do not see a yellow flag. And, whoa, Coach Weibel, he liked that one.
He should.
Nice job there. And the Vikings put another score on the board at the 9:56 mark in the 4th quarter. And, man, it's getting harder all the time now for Olympic.
That second half team that North Kitsap has, and I think a lot of this has to do with some of that weight room stuff they've been doing. Their stamina is so strong, and they come fighting at you second half.
All right, Warden.
Yeah, there was movement either or into the neutral zone.
Oh, it's going to be offsides against Olympic. So they'll get a yard, half a yard. Oh, they're going to
Decline
it. And we will. It was a dead ball foul, so nothing happened. So we'll go back to Canaan Warren's attempt for a PAT.
Movement again, possibly on them, but no flags that time.
And the PAT is good. That snap was a little low. Nice job that time by Alex Sanchez grabbing it and putting it down for Canaan.
But that was a little thing you think about where Coach Weibel doesn't take the penalty because he knows he's not going for 2. His guys are used to doing it from that particular distance. They are already in their positions, so why move them? It seems like a minor thing, and maybe it is, but it was one more successful PAT.
31-14 lead for the Vikings. And you know, North Kitsap, talk about that second quarter, that game we did a few weeks ago against Central. I believe it was a 1-point game right up to the 4th quarter. And boom, North Kitsap at that point decided to go on a tear.
Well, boom, they have 10 points already here in the 4th quarter.
And I'm sure the staff likes that.
This is one of the reasons they're ranked where they are. Eighth. I saw one poll where they were ranked 8th, and their second half prowess.
So the Vikings put another 7 on the board here, and it's a deeper hole for Olympic to dig out of. And it's going to go into the end zone for the second touchback for Kanan Warren. And that ball is kicked from the Vikings 40-yard line, so it's a good 60, 65-yard kick.
That's phenomenal. That is quite the leg and quite the weapon as well.
Well, it's moves Olympic to the 20-yard line to start out this series, and now down by 17.
Well, Mighty Mo staying with North Kitsap right now. At halftime, it was 14-8, North Kitsap in the lead. Olympic comes right out the gate, gets that touchdown after the fumble, and ties it up at 14, but nothing since then.
And the handoff that time picked up some nice yardage there for Mason Quatavis.
Mason's had a very nice game. He's made some big plays on defense, a couple big runs. He is actually the backup quarterback for Evan, so they're the only two with any passing stats for the Olympic Trojan.
Second down now. And that time the Viking defense stopped him as he was trying to get through the line there. And it's like number 30 getting up out of there, Carson Bauer. And we've mentioned his name a couple times tonight.
One being a fumble recovery, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Third down now for Olympic. And they need about 2 yards for a first down to keep this drive going. Tavis going to the air. Ball is tipped, but it looks like a clean reception there for a first down for the Trojans. And they needed that one. It was Devin Burley.
That's the first reception I've seen from him tonight. He's a senior.
Yeah,
Smart play.
Looked like the ball was tipped.
Right. And then he made the reception and knew he had his first down and wasn't going to try anything silly.
No need for another fumble.
That's for sure.
First down for the Trojans. This time a handoff, and I don't know how
Absolutely no
Enriquez
clue.
does it.
Oh, that was Quatavis again.
Oh, okay, it was Mason. I thought it was for Enriquez, but you're correct, Mason Quatavis. And why haven't we seen?
I believe he was the one who went off injured.
Uh-oh.
Enriquez, that not what they need at all when
No.
already Madison out for the evening.
Yeah, because he had a great second half rushing.
First half.
Or
here.
first half,
Yeah.
excuse me, yes. Uh-oh, flag, back in the backfield. Quatavis's pass is...
Oh, no, now they're going to call. Yeah, another flag has come out, and whether that's going to be unsportsmanlike or what they're going to call, we'll find out. Or it could have been grounding because it did not get past the line of scrimmage, although I do believe that there was a Trojan in the area.
Okay, John Lambert coming over.
Not sure what...
It was a shift, was that an illegal shift?
That
on that
original
first
one.
Flag, which was the one thrown in the backfield.
And I don't know if they are going to add to that. Or now they're going to call... Okay, so they're going from the original line of scrimmage, and they're going to go back 5 on the illegal shift. And that's all we got.
I guess that's the only flag out there.
I think the other one was going to be intentional grounding, and I think they picked that up when they realized there was a Trojan in the area.
Second down, and once again, the Trojans backing themselves up.
Oh, another flag.
And Quitevas brought down behind the line of scrimmage, couldn't get the ball away.
Side judge throwing that one straight up and down.
Carson Bauer on the tackle.
Man in the white hat going to find out what the call is. Those guys ought to wear Fitbits. I want to know how much the officials, they have to get a lot of yardage in.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay. Another illegal shift against the Trojans.
Coach Weibel declines it, wants the result of the play, but it depends upon whether it was that's a dead ball foul. I don't think it is because I didn't hear the whistle go.
Because they're talking to North.
And I watch Weibel with the big axe.
So, yeah, it's currently second down and about 13, 14 to go for a first. And there's the shift against Trojans. And
I think he put up 3 fingers for it's supposed to be third down.
Yeah,
I need better eyes or
I didn't see
pull out my
him.
binoculars on that.
Well, no.
They must
They're
have to
gonna
take
walk it off. They're going to walk it off, and so that will move the Trojans back down to about their own 14-yard line.
That wasn't a 5-yard penalty. I am not sure what that was all about. Or it may be and third down and loss of down, so
yeah, that's what John is saying. Third down to the flagmen.
I don't know how you lose the down. He is signaling loss of down. There you are. It's 3rd and 32. We'll just go with what Dan Whedon says.
Wow. And the Trojans stopped at the line of scrimmage, which is about their own 15-yard line, 14-yard line. And boy, they have had a tough time in this second half doing anything almost.
Well, the penalties obviously hurt them so much, and it has to do with the fact that they're not used to passing much, and so their formations aren't set. They're making some mistakes on movement and shifts.
And the North Kitsap receiver at the Trojan 40-yard line.
Better kick than that. That's good.
Good kick. It will roll out of bounds at the Viking 48, and that's where North Kitsap will take over with 6 minutes, 41 seconds left to go in the game, and the Vikings up 31-14 over the Trojans.
Really nice job by Farrell on that kick. What I'd seen is he averages around 26, 27 yards on punts. He's not had a lot of them. So that's what North Kitsap was basing, where they stand their man at the 40 and he kicks it over his head and out of bounds and gets it actually into Viking territory.
All right, Tristan Newman under center.
And the whistles. This is a game of whistles and flags right now.
Time out, Olympic.
I think that is their last timeout of the half. Just unsure of.
Seems like it seems like they've had a few.
They might have taken 4 or 5.
Yeah, we don't have a TOL up on the scoreboards. Timeouts left, which is great down at Silverdale Stadium. In fact, we'll be there next week for
that is correct.
Game of the week. Coach Keel, Central Kitsap Cougars taking on a good rival. And, you know, I like these rivalry games. They're going to be playing the Gig Harbor.
The Gig Harbor Tides.
Yep.
It seems like forever since we've seen Gig Harbor play, so I'm really excited about that. It's the second half of their doubleheader, so we won't be coming on till at least 7:30, maybe a little bit later, depending upon how quickly they can get that first game off the field.
And crowds moving in and out.
Pretty crazy.
First game is Clahalia.
Correct, against
and the
Cascade
doubleheader.
Christian.
Cascade Christian, a perennial top-notch state team in the 1As. Okay, first down for the Vikings. And a handoff to number 32, Dax Solis. And at this point, it's run out the clock time, Kitty.
It really is. And what Olympics trying to do is that strip thing, and Solis had both hands around. They were trying to grab the arm, and he did a really nice job of securing the football.
And picked up about 4.5 yards.
That doesn't hurt either.
Second down and 6 coming up for the Vikings. And yeah, there's no need to do anything fancy here.
Home field advantage definitely showing up tonight. I don't think it's just that we're seeing this North Kitsap an all-around strong team.
Second down. Oh, up through the middle. Breaking away into the 10, the 5, and in the end zone for Dax Solis once again. Wow.
48-yard run. Don't have to do anything special. We're just going to run out the clock. Not Solis.
Maybe score a few
Yeah.
more times. That was a nice run. And once again, they had the blockers for North had a great block scheme, and Dax saw it perfectly.
Well, did that not look like a replay? I felt
Yep,
as if
it
somehow
sure
we
did.
had just gotten Spencer on the field and he was able to run us a replay, other than it was about 10 yards shorter.
Okay, Kanan Warren for the attempt at the PAT. Ball is down, the ball is through, and good. I see no flags.
That's always a happy thing.
So that took about 40 seconds, 50 seconds.
From the time they got that, exactly. And they'd done such a nice job of at least not getting them in their own territory, and then that run by Solis. But you pointed it out, Doc. It's the blocking that's opening that up for him, and he is just using his speed to fly by everybody.
Well, plus you've got to see it. You're running, you're trying to keep the ball without dropping it, trying to go at full speed, which he's got pretty good full speed, and he's seen that. He's seen that, and it's not big, but it's enough.
Well, but it's got to be kind of big because he comes in at 220 pounds, 6'1", and just a junior. Just solid as far as being able to get through the hole, and then the speed after that is impressive.
Yeah, for a man that size.
Exactly.
Young man. Well, North Kitsap 38-14 over the Trojans.
Pretty sure Dax's job might be done for the day. He's on the sideline with his helmet off.
Oh, instead of downing it in the end zone, the Olympic runner picks it up and
I'm not even sure why they
takes
let
it
him
out. Well,
if
I
it
know.
went into the end
I
zone.
thought it.
He might have touched it out on the field of play.
Okay, because because he definitely had to pick it up.
Yeah, because otherwise you aren't allowed to run it out. So he must have touched it in the field of play prior to that.
And so the Trojans once again start out deep in their own territory at 12, 13-yard line.
This North Kitsap team making its own breaks. Their special teams playing well. They have a field goal. Their PATs have been very consistent, both defense and offense playing very well. And now I'm assuming some starters might get an opportunity for a break with 5:33 left.
And it looks like we've got a new QB in for the Olympic High Trojans. Number 17.
Oh,
with
that's the kicker,
handoff.
Farrell.
And Kyle Farrell, 6'3", 215, a junior. That's a good size for a quarterback, 6'3".
Quite a difference between he and Evan. 6'3" versus 5'8". It might be that Farrell is their passing quarterback. That's awfully tough to come into a game expecting that you can go in and pass when the other team knows that's what you're going to want to do.
Evan a senior and Kyle a junior. So they want to get Kyle some good playing time. The handoff or trying to run around the near side, but look out. The Viking defense drops him for a loss. Connor Westby.
Connor Westby's been in there all night playing really hard.
Well, North Kitsap's looking like a state-ranked team out there, Kitty.
They certainly are.
Hey, you know, last year made it to the quarterfinals and postseason. The next step is the final 4 teams. I'm sure they want to take that step.
Olympic, such a tough ending to their year where they were undefeated going into all the playoffs, and their only loss coming in the playoff.
They had a little bit of running room that time. It would be Jaden Fernandez picking up a few yards on that one. Yeah, let's give him about, but keep moving the sticks. They're going to give him about 7 on that one. But the sign says 4th down. And the ball is at the Trojan, just about 20-yard line. And I guess there's not much you can do but kick it away at this point.
It would really be silly to do anything but that.
And a new punter since Farrell's QB. And uh-oh.
That is Farrell.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. And that punt was not the best.
One of those shanks that just, it seems as if everything is wanting to go wrong at the same time.
Yeah, you know, that can't be easy to run the team as a QB and then have to drop back and punt.
Meet Johnny Elway. Come on.
Well,
Who can't multi-purpose, do it all? No, I agree. It isn't simple because you're trying to concentrate on so many different things.
well, we've got a timeout here. We want to thank you folks for tuning in live on the KitsapSun.com on the internet stream. Made possible in part by Peninsula Subaru, and we want to thank you folks who watch it on BKAT, brought to you by West Sound TV. We're a local nonprofit organization whose mission is to produce, promote, and help to develop local community television and bring our community programming.
And to give you and I a chance to have a lot of fun doing this, I think. That's always been, I thought that was the purpose, so Doc and Kitty can do high school sports. Isn't that it?
Well, we do love them.
We do.
Yeah, what a great group. We got to thank Mark Stanford up here, the AD at North. Always enjoy coming up here to North Kitsap. Coach Parrish down there on the sidelines. Our good buddy Virgil Taylor retired, but he's in the stands.
Jerry Parrish, all those guys down there.
Yeah, we got a new quarterback in for the Vikings. That would be Andrew Blackmore.
Sophomore.
And he hands off to Sanchez. Sanchez has been in the game holding the ball for Warren on the PATs. Yeah, we're under 3 minutes to go, so.
Well, I was going to ditto on the how much I like coming up here to North Kitsap and how Matt Stanford treats us and all their people up here. Jackie Berman making sure our name gets on the list and that we are, that they let us in the gate. And you know, we actually have room up here in this booth too. It's kind of cool.
And even at halftime, Vice Principal John Waller on the microphone. Good show by the North Kitsap Band.
Great
Bryce
show
Adams.
by the band.
And that will bring up a 3rd down. About 8 to go for the 1st down, and the clock is ticking, and I don't think Olympic has any more timeouts. Not that at this point you'd want to prolong the agony.
Senior Damian Avalos getting into the game. 5'9", 146.
Andrew Blackmore, he's only a sophomore. He's getting some good time out there. He's got it. He wants to go to the air, nobody to pass to, and so he'll hold on to it, and there's the yellow flag. That one looked like a horse collar from here.
Looked like there was an opening that Sanchez might have been open, but that would have been quite the pass.
A sophomore out there.
I was actually
hasn't had a lot of playing
I was
time.
kind of surprised they called anything like that. I do know that you want to give them that opportunity.
It was the horse collar, I believe.
Yep, just that frustration that's coming on Olympic side.
And those kind of penalties like that and the face mask, you got to call.
You do.
No matter what, because those could be potentially injurious moves.
This Olympic team just not showing everything that we know they have. They're a better team than this. A lot of things have just kind of gone against them. And once you just can't get the momentum going again, that's really tough. I still expect some pretty big things out of the team.
First down now for the Vikings after the penalty, and clock is running. Yep, it's running. 1:25 left to go in the ball game.
Just using up the whole.
Yeah, Blackmore looking things
I wanted to call it a
over.
shot clock. That's how sad I am. Yeah.
Now, of course, the back judge has the official time, and it's going to be a delay-o game.
No, actually, it was.
It was offsides.
Encroachment. Yeah.
I thought it was getting close to the delay.
He held it long enough that the guy just finally fell over. It was.
The back judge will hold his hand up at the 5-second countdown mark on the play clock. There's not
Thank you.
scoreboards on both ends.
I couldn't come up with play clock. I kept wanting to call it a shot clock, and I knew that wasn't correct.
Not quite yet.
A little later in the season.
Okay, that will be first down and 5 for North Kitsap. And again, he's just looking, letting that clock run. And there's the 5-second mark. So gets it off in time. Little pitch back. Oh, that was a nice tackle that time in the open field by number 10 for the Trojans, and that's Christopher Baker. We've called his name a few times tonight.
Christopher's one of the few receivers who's actually gotten a ball during the season, and he has a TD on the season along with an interception.
And the clock's ticking. We're down to 15 seconds. And that will do it here in Paulsbo at North Kitsap Stadium as the North Kitsap Vikings celebrate a big victory over the Olympic High Trojans. 31-14?
38.
38.
As it all goes away, doesn't it, Doc? It's counting down. That's a whole new thing.
So anyway, it wasn't quite the game I expected, but it certainly was a great game for the North Kitsap Vikings and the Viking fans.
Well, and it was really hard to know coming into this if it was going to be as close because we're so early in the season. When the last two times they've met, we knew how good both the teams were. This Olympic team is still rebuilding. They lost so many pieces from last year. So there might be a couple other teams out there that are going to challenge them, but North Kitsap looks like a juggernaut right now.
They are certainly looking good tonight, and on all counts,
Yes.
offense, defense, field goal kicking,
Special
kickoffs.
teams, yeah.
Well, this was fun to watch for, and I'm sure the North Kitsap fans all loved it. Not quite as fun, I'm sure, for you Olympic High Trojan fans. But the Trojans, they got to not hang their head. They got to take care of business.
Take care of the football.
Holding on to the ball and not getting penalized. There were a lot of penalties tonight. And you're getting to that point in the season, not quite halfway through yet, that you got to start getting rid of that kind of stuff.
And there's more than one team that makes playoffs. And as North proved last year, you don't have to end up first to go the farthest.
It's always nice to have those bragging rights to
That's
the
true.
Olympic League champion.
Very true.
All right, well, we're West Sound TV. Spencer Anderson's on the camera and streaming it for the Kitsap Sun. Kitty Campagna, your producer, and on the other microphone. Next week, we will be at Silverdale Stadium, Central Kitsap, taking on the old Gig Harbor Tides, which I think is going to be an interesting, fun game. And it will start a little later than usual because the CK School District does double headers there at Silverdale Stadium. So tune in around 7:30 or a little
Or a
after.
little bit later.
We will see. But happy to have had you with us tonight. And I'm the doctor, Doc Parr for West Sound TV, saying stay tuned. We will see you soon.